Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about how to handle the 3D showing you the opposite of what you were affirming for. As always, please comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and we'll get into it. This was the #1 most liked comment on my last post that I made where I asked you guys what you want to see in the next videos. Again, if you want to see something in one of these videos, just comment it below. I will take it into account for future videos. But this topic, I know, is one of the biggest, most talked about things because it can be so hard to think that you're so confident in something, to be doing all the right things you feel for it, and then you're trying not to check the 3D world. You're trying not to, because as we know, it's not really helpful to continuously check this world for the thing that you are manifesting, because I'm going to always say this in my videos, you already have what you're trying to manifest. Imagination creates reality. Imagination is reality. So if you can see it in imagination, you already have that thing. Affirmations are simply just affirming that you already have it in imagination. And if you have it in imagination, it's just the law that it will have to manifest into this reality. It's like a movie reel. It just has to eventually play out. With that being said, we can know all this and we can believe all this even, but when it comes down to it, eventually at some point, we're going to check our 3D reality, or we're going to have to be a part of our 3D reality. You know, we can't just ignore life and just not be living in it, because I've tried that. It doesn't really work, especially if you got to go to work every day. You got to talk to people. You got to sometimes be involved in your reality still. So how do you do that and not get triggered and not totally feel hopeless when you don't see immediate movement, or you actually see the opposite of what you're trying to affirm for? Because that can be the most disheartening out of everything, is when you are putting all this effort in and you actually get the opposite result, or you get worse results than you had before. So if this is something that you're dealing with, if this is something that is happening to you, I'm going to explain to you how I deal with this and how you can still manifest the thing you want while dealing with the 3D world. Because once again, you can't really ignore it. You got to live in it. So you kind of just have to work with it rather than against it. And again, anything you resist persists. So don't try to resist the things happening in your 3D world, because you will just see more of them. The more attention or focus you put on something, whether that's saying, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this, or I want to see this, I want to see this, the universe doesn't care. It's still going to think that you want more of it. It doesn't matter if you say, I don't want to see this. You're going to see more of it. The universe doesn't really understand negatives. As long as you're putting focus on it in some way, then you're going to get more of that in your reality. So the first thing you want to do is just don't fight it. Don't try to fight whatever this is, okay? So I want to actually bring you guys back to my one video. It was the card game video. I think I called it the card game technique or something like that. It has like a green thumbnail on it if you're looking for it. But in that video, I talked about when you're playing a game with people, like cards, and I'm talking like with your family or something, or with your friends, you can always see it in someone's face when they have bad cards, or they're like, oh man, like I picked up another one of these. Like they're always reacting to the game constantly. And I was saying how when I play cards with my family, I'm always able to win because I don't react to my cards, and I just have this knowing inside of me that no matter what happens during the game, I'm gonna win the game. And that was just something that I've had my whole life. Like I just always was good at cards. I just always knew I'd win, and it just became that way. And I got lucky on chance games too. It wasn't just strategic games, it was games of luck. So everyone just thought I was super lucky. I would just always win. But really it was because I was not reacting to anything going on in the game, because it didn't matter what cards I picked up. It didn't matter how I played them. Yes, I would still try to play the best that I could, right? But ultimately I just knew in the back of my mind that I'm gonna win. So even if I had a bad hand, even if it was like the worst hand ever, or I was already like losing, I would just know somehow I'm gonna win. And that's how you kind of have to look at life. So even when things are going down, things are going the opposite of you're expecting, because this will happen. This will happen where you completely don't even see any results, or you see like things just getting worse, and you're like, okay, well, like how is this gonna work out? And you have to think of your life like a game or like a movie, where like in the movie you see the person start to fail, things start going wrong, everything was going great, and then everything just goes wrong, right? And you have to realize this is part of the plot line. It's part of the movie, it's part of the game. At some point things are going to go down. But if you have this knowing inside of you, it's like a little cheat code to life, or this little secret in the back of your mind that only you know, is that in the end, I'm going to win. Like, you've already seen the end of the movie. You know you're going to win. You've already seen the end of the game, or you've already played this game and you know this cheat code works, right? So you just trust that no matter what happens, somehow it's going to work out. And you don't know how it's going to work out. You don't have to know how it's going to work out, because that is like your higher self's job. That's what it does, is it figures that part out for you, and it does it in ways that will make you so confused if you try to comprehend it. So that's another thing, is if you're constantly trying to think of like, okay, how is this going to work out? How is this going to go from this to like this much money? Like, how am I going to end up making this happen? Don't try to figure everything out. That is one thing I really want to get across, because I used to do this, and I've learned from experience, you cannot figure out the universe. The universe, you will never comprehend it fully, because it's just so vast, and your higher self just knows so much more than you do in this human mind, human body. So don't try to figure things out. There's actually a video where Alan Watts talks about this. If you haven't heard of him, he's really, really great on the topic of manifestation, law of assumptions, many, many topics. But he has this one video where he talks about looking at the world through the eyes of like a child and not knowing what anything really means, like seeing things kind of like for the first time. And that's super important. The way that he talks about this is because you're acting as if you don't know what anything means to you. So when you don't give something meaning, then it can't have a negative effect on you. That's why I always talk about, being neutral towards your reality and towards what you see. And that's why in that game video, I talked about not reacting to anything, staying very calm, just very level-headed. No matter what happens in the game, you're calm because you know you're going to win. No matter what happens in reality, you're calm because you know you're going to manifest exactly what it is that you want to manifest. And you getting from where you are to what you want to manifest, it's just the unfolding of events. And the universe knows exactly how to get you from A to B if you just let it do its job. But you will not understand how this is going to work until you get to B. Until you get to where you're going, you're not going to understand the process. So just like in life, where things happen that seem negative at the time, you're like, I lost my job, or I had to go get this surgery, or whatever. It doesn't make sense at the time. You're like, oh, this really sucks. But then if you figured out in the future, sometimes these things are what pushes us to be the person that we're supposed to be. Like, sometimes losing our job was the best thing, because then we never could have got the motivation to want to start our own business or something. If we didn't have that surgery, which happened to me, I had back surgery. I was planning to go into a completely different career until I had this back surgery. And then I was like, oh, hey, like, I'm so weak now after my surgery. I want to build up my muscle again. So then I got into nutrition and fitness and exercise, and that's how I met all my friends and got into this whole other career. So the things that happen that seem negative at the time usually are for a reason, and they're meant to lead you to somewhere more positive. So even if you see sales going down or something, or you see your person is now talking to someone new, this person you're trying to manifest, don't look at it as a negative. Look at it through the eyes of like someone who has just seen the world for the first time, that doesn't know what anything means. Look at everything as either neutral or positive. So another way you can look at this is that every single thing that you experience from the time that you affirm for something to when you finally receive it is simply just the unfolding of what you asked for. So every single thing that happens is a positive. Look at it this way. Everything that happens is a positive. Your sales go down? Great. Awesome. That just means I'm getting one step closer. I don't know why this is happening. I just know that it's happening for a reason, and I'm still going to end up exactly where I need to go, because it's just a knowing, okay? No matter what happens in this 3D world, you have to have this feeling inside of you like it is all adding up to where you need to go. So think of every day as another step forward towards where you're trying to go. Okay, like everything is adding up. Sometimes I like to visualize my goal on the end of like a timeline or something. Like I see 0 and I see $10,000 or something, if that's what I was trying to manifest. And I just see like every day, I just see my little person on that line moving closer and closer and closer every single day, no matter what happens. So you have to see everything as progress, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, it doesn't matter. It's progress towards where you're going. because you know that you already have that thing. Because as soon as you affirmed for it, you are telling yourself that you have that thing in imagination. You can see it in imagination. If you can see it in imagination, it is the law that it must manifest in the 3D world eventually. It's like playing out on a slow movie reel, but eventually it's going to come out, okay? So you just have to stick with it. It's a movie. Think of it like a movie. There's going to be ups and downs, because to get to where you want to go, depending on how big that thing seems to you from where you are right now, there's going to have to be some stuff that happens from now till then to turn you into that person that has that thing. The universe is simply just making you into that person that has that thing. And there's so many little things. I like to think of it like a clock moving with all the little parts, the gears. It's like there's a bazillion moving parts in the universe, things that have to shift or move around for you to get the thing that you want. But you don't see that stuff. The universe does all of it for you. So even when it seems like nothing's going on, the universe is doing a million things to get you to where you want to go. I always say this to myself, and this is something that helped me get through as well. When the world is silent, when you're not seeing any movement, nothing's happening, that is when the universe is working its hardest. That is when something big is coming. I always tell myself that. It's always in those moments of silence or things going the opposite that I know that there's going to be, it's almost like a recoil is what I want to say. It's like, you know, something's going to pop off right after that, or you know that something's good going to come of this, because I always say when the universe is quiet, it's really working. It's doing the work. Something is coming for you. So don't take this silence or this opposite that you're seeing as a negative. Take it as, okay, the universe is doing something here. I don't know what the heck it's doing, but I don't have to know. All I know is that it's leading me to my desire. So you don't have to completely ignore your 3D reality. That's the thing. Again, people say ignore 3D, persist, but you also have to live in the 3D world. So you can't just fully ignore it. But instead of ignoring it, just be okay with everything that happens. Trust that whatever happens is right, and it is showing you that you're on the right path. Whatever happens, you are on the right path. My other video where I talk about you literally can't mess up, this is the truth. Like, every action that you take from the moment you affirm for something, if you believe that it's positive and you believe that it's going to get you from A to B, no matter what it is, no matter if it makes sense to you or not, because again, it doesn't have to make sense. It can literally make zero sense to you, and that's okay. But if you just trust that it will get you there, no matter what happens, you'll get there, then you will. It's really just about the label that you give anything that happens in reality. Your reactions are what determine if you're going to manifest something or not. If you react negatively to situations where you see zero sales, you see your person talking to another person, or you don't get the likes that you want on your video or whatever, if you react to that negatively, then you're just going to experience more of that, and you're not going to end up manifesting what it is you want. But instead, if you just say, I don't know why this is happening, but I know that no matter what, I still have my desire, it is still mine, and the universe is working on it for me, then you'll still get there. Like, you just have to make everything into a positive, or just be completely neutral about it. If you don't want to be positive, just look at it and be like, all right, that's fine, it's cool, but you know, I know where I'm going, so I'm just gonna move on with my day. Think of it like we talk about the 3D reality as old news. We're looking at old news. It's like looking at a newspaper that's way out of date, and you're looking at that for what's going to happen in the future. Like, it's not going to tell you anything about your future, right? Like, what's going to tell you about your future is what you're seeing in your mind, not in this 3D world. So anytime you're looking for something in this 3D world and you're checking, I always tell people, go to your mind and check in there. What do you see? Do you see the thing that you're trying to manifest? Cool, then it's there. Don't pay attention to this 3D world. At least don't give it the power that you give your mind, because what you see in your mind is truly what's coming next for you. It's like what's next on the movie reel, and then what you're seeing in the 3D world right now is just what's already playing out on the screen. you wouldn't be able to tell what's coming next just by watching the movie on the screen, right? Like if you've never seen it before, you don't know what's coming next just by staring at the screen of the movie. But if you are going in your mind, it's like you can go look at the reel and see what's coming next. Like it's like you get a preview of the next part of the movie, right? It's like the trailer for the next episode or something. So what you see out here is not nearly as important as what you see in your mind. Another technique I just wanted to talk about that you can use to make it more concrete feeling that your desire is already yours, that it's already done. This is something I was going to talk about in another video, but you can get a box, like a cardboard box or some sort of box, and cut a little hole in the top of it or anything like this, and then you write down your desires on a piece of paper, as in you already have them, right? We're talking about writing it in the present tense. I already have this thing. Write it down, put it in the box, and call this box, write on the box or something, things that I already have. Whatever you want to write on it. But just know that the moment you put something in the box, and I think it's important to make the little opening of the box very small, as in like you can just slide a paper in, kind of like when you put money in a piggy bank, you can't get it back out. Something like that, where you put it in, you could even use a piggy bank for this. And you just know that once you've put it in there, that is the truth, and that thing is on its way to you, no matter what. Because you can tell, you can see it in there, so you know that no matter what, it's gonna be on its way to you. Like once you put it in this box, it's like the magic box. There's no other option. That thing is coming to you. One last thing I also want to say is, in regards to affirming in the present tense, that you already have this thing, if that stresses you out, if that makes you uncomfortable, then you can also affirm that, I just know this thing is going to be mine. Like you don't have to know that it's yours right this second. Even if you know that it might come to you in the future, like you're just very positive that it will come to you no matter what in the future, that is also a way you can manifest. Because many people have manifested this way. I've seen celebrities manifest this way. They say like, I'm going to marry this person one day, and they end up marrying that person. So it doesn't always have to be the present tense. You just have to have this knowing that that thing is yours, and it will be no matter what, regardless of what's happening. So you don't have to affirm like I have this thing right now. If that makes you feel uncomfortable, then say this thing is coming to me. I'm going to have this thing. Like no matter what, but you just have to have a confidence no matter how you're affirming. You just have to have this confidence in yourself. Anyways, I hope this video is helpful. I think that's all I'm going to say about this topic for now. But let me know, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to see more videos from me, if you want more of your questions answered, again, post them below. Let me know if you have a question. Let me know what you think about this topic. If you have any advice for anyone, leave it below as well. I see some of you guys doing that in the other videos. I think that's really great. I'm glad that we have some support on this channel too. Like we're already building a little community. So I'm really proud of this channel so far and how it's been growing. I'm really excited for the future of it. So thank you guys so much once again. And I will see you all in the next one. Right? Bye.